All right. Hello, hello. How are you? Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are. Hello, hello, my friends. How are you all doing today? Nice, nice. Looks like we got a good clean view here. So let's get started. Talk about English, talk about your English learning, or anything you want to talk about. So let me just get my handy dandy chat up here. Hello, hello. Good morning. So let me just download my little chat box here so I can see what y'all are saying. Give me a shout out, say hello, tell me what you want to talk about, and let's get started. All right. So today, okay, hello. See someone just joined us there. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Looks like you're from India, maybe, based on those symbols. So if you want to tell me how I can say your name. All right, very nice. So, how long have you been studying English? And what do you want to talk about today? Today, I didn't bring a specific theme or topic, so we can talk about whatever you want to. If you have questions, if you have a specific topic, feel free to let me know. Okay, so you said fatten, faten. Do I pronounce it the first way, fatten, or the second way, faten? Or is there a third option that a better way for me to pronounce that? Okay, Marina, hello. Welcome from Brazil. How are you doing today? How are you? Okay, welcome, welcome everybody. So, like I said, today's just a conversation class. So, we're just going to talk about whatever you want to. You can watch on Facebook, you can watch on YouTube, but if you want to participate directly in Zoom, go ahead and click on that link, and then you can join me directly here in the Zoom meeting. And then you can actually use your microphone to speak with me. All right, great. Marina, you're fine. Thanks, you're welcome. Very nice. I'm happy to have you all here today. So, what would you all like to talk about? Do you have anything specific that you want to talk about today? Any vocabulary that you want to learn? Any expressions, words that give you trouble pronouncing with your pronunciation, grammar questions? Everybody loves grammar, right? So we can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. Just a free conversation, just hopping on here to talk with you all in English and about your English. All right, all right. No questions, no questions. Good. Guess you guys already know everything about English. So choose a topic. We can choose a topic to talk about, research some information. Okay, so it's like fatten. Okay, so fatten, fatten. I'll get it. I gotta learn how to speak Indian. I know that in India you all speak many languages, right? Marathi, Telugu, Hindi. Okay, 10. Fatten, fatten, fatten. Okay, so I'll pronounce it like that in 10. Fatten. Good, good. So, what languages do you speak? Fatten, you're learning English. I assume you speak Hindi, and you probably speak 2 or 3 other languages as well. I have many friends from India who speak many languages. All right. Any specific topics that you all want to talk about? What are you all doing these days? Oh, okay, okay, all right. I see. That's Arabic. Okay, so I don't know much about Arabic. So, hey, Gilles. Gilles speaks Portuguese. Hello, Gilles. How you doing? Marina speaks Portuguese, and Fatin speaks Arabic. Very nice. So I definitely need to learn some things about Arabic. I know a little bit about Portuguese. I know a little bit about Indian languages, but nothing about Arabic languages. So tell me a little bit about the Arabic language, Fatin. Marina wants to talk about grammar. Sure, Marina. What would you like to talk about grammar? Do you have any specific questions? Hey, Memphis. How you doing? Hello, hello. Where are you from, Memphis? Jona. Jona Machado. I miss you too, buddy. Long, long time no see, right? Crazy world we're living in these days. Yes, Jonan, I am back. I made some life changes. I had a big move, but now I am back. Good. So, Memphis is from Turkey. Welcome from Turkey, Memphis. Nice to have you here. So, like I've been telling everyone, today we're just here. I hopped on for some free conversation to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm just testing my configurations here, basically, checking my setup. So making sure everything's okay, but we can take advantage of this time to talk together. Okay, so Marina's asking, when do I use the present perfect? Present perfect is a great topic to talk about, Marina. Everybody loves the present perfect. All right, Ism is from Palestine. Very nice. Welcome from Palestine. Memphis says you deserve much more subs. Thank you, Memphis. I appreciate that. I am definitely enjoying all the subs I have, everyone who's here, and we are going to work hard to provide good content and get more good subs. Kevin Hill says, hey, Kevin, how are you doing? Where are you from? Jonan Machado says, I tried to contact you by email, WhatsApp, and so on, and I couldn't. Jonan, I'm sorry. I believe my email is still the same. My WhatsApp did change. My WhatsApp changed because I moved. So I have a new WhatsApp. I have a new phone number. My WhatsApp changed and everything changed. All right. Marina says, yes, I speak Portuguese. Very good, Marina. Kevin Hill from Canada. Nice, Kevin. So you live in Canada. I assume you speak English very well. Are you an English teacher? All right, all right. So Marina wants to talk about the present perfect. So let me see what I can find here about the present perfect. Just gonna do a quick search here on the internet. We'll find something interesting to talk about. Okay, Kevin Hill says no. I assume that means no to teaching English. Are you learning English or what brings you by? Are you just hanging out for fun? Okay, so here we go. I'm going to switch the camera off of me and onto the screen so we can see some things about the present perfect because Marina wants to know about the present perfect. So Jona's asking, before we switch, do you have any tips for private English teachers? You want to know if I have tips for private English teachers? Jonah, I believe that now is a very good time for private English teachers teaching online. So definitely start providing good content for people who are interested, find out who wants English classes and teach them English online. What kind of tips do you have specifically, Jonah? Do you want to know like what kind of platforms to use, what kind of curriculum to use, how to get students? If you want to clarify your questions there, we'll answer them. Okay, so while Jonah's clarifying his questions, I am going to switch over here, share my screen, and we're going to talk a little bit we're going to talk about the present perfect. If I can figure out how to share my, okay, here we go. I figured it out. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let me know if you all can see that okay. Can you guys see my screen now? Okay, so present perfect tense English page. We have some images over here. Let's see what Wikipedia says, Marina. The present perfect is a grammatical combination of the present tense and perfect aspect, which is very confusing for Brazilian students because in Portuguese, I know that you generally translate the present perfect as the simple past, which gets very, very confusing, right, Marina? So I understand why you have trouble with that. It's a very common question that intermediate students have. And so let's take a quick look here. We have some present perfect tense on Grammarly. Let's find something interesting, preferably something. Let's take a look here at Wikipedia. Wikipedia is always a good go-to guide. Present perfect examples. This will probably be good. So we'll open up this page, Marina. Another question, why do we use the present tense? The present perfect. The present perfect is a verb tense, which is used to show that an action has taken place once or many times before. The present perfect is most frequently used to talk about experience or changes that have taken place, but there are other less common uses as well. Okay, so there are a few rules. Let's see if we can find those rules. Since this is just an impromptu conversation here, talking about the use of the auxiliary verbs, the present perfect. Oh, look, see, here we even have it for Portuguese, Marina. Portuguese present perfect tense, but I know you're asking specifically about modern English. So here are some phrases. All right, the auxiliary verb used to form the present perfect is always to have. If it were the past perfect, we would say had. If it were the future perfect, we would use will have, right? So we use the auxiliary verb to have, and a typical present perfect clause thus consists of the subject, the auxiliary verb has, and the past the past participle, third form of the main verb. So the third form, the past participle of the verb do, is done. So we would say, I have done. We use the auxiliary verb have with the past participle of the verb do, done. I have done so much in my life. Okay, same thing here. You have gone to school. So gone is the past participle, the third form of the verb to go. So we say, you have gone to school. Okay, he has already arrived in America. Arrived is the third form, the past participle of arrive, because it is a regular verb. So you say he has arrived, right? We're using has instead of have because of the pronoun he. He has. Here we used you have. I have, you have, he has. He has arrived in America. And then we can throw in already to show it already happened. He has already arrived in America. Okay, so those are just a few simple phrases, and we can talk more about this later, Marina, if you have, I'm sure you have more questions about this, but when you use the present perfect instead of the simple past, right? Which is one of the confusing questions for Portuguese students. So let me go ahead and switch this up here a little bit. I'm going to see, here we go. Get this up here so I'm back on the screen. Let's make sure everything's working here correctly. Okay, good. So, do you have more questions, more specific questions about the present perfect, Marina? I'm sure you do. So go ahead and ask your questions there about that, you and anyone else. Meanwhile, let me come back and take a look at the questions here. So let's see what kind of questions everyone is asking in the chat. So we can take a look at those and answer more questions. All right, so Memphis asks, your shoulders are so wide. How tall are you? Okay, Memphis. I am 6'1", 6'2", depending on when I get measured. Sometimes they tell me 6'1", 6'2". In metric measurements, it's between 182, 187. I think the last time I got measured, I was 187. Sometimes they tell me 182. I assume it depends on the kinds of shoes that I'm wearing. So Jona Machado asks about the curriculum. Okay, great question, Jona. So for English teachers, you want to know what kind of curriculum to use. Jona, that is a good question. There are a lot of good methods, a lot of good material that you can use. So my the first thing I'm going to say is that first of all, it depends on the student's needs, right? So if you go to the doctor and you are sick, the doctor's going to ask you some questions, right? So the doctor's going to ask you what you're feeling about your family history. So same thing with English students, right? You're going to find out what level they're at, what their current level is, so you know how they need to study to progress to the next level. You're going to talk about their goals, what they want to learn, what specific difficulties they have, what abilities they want to develop. Some students can speak, but they don't understand what they hear. Others can understand what they hear, but they have trouble speaking. Some can read, but they can't write, vice versa. So, it's a matter of finding out what the student's goals are. So taking the student from where he's at to reaching the level that he wants. So there are a lot of good online materials out there that you can use. Um, there's a good website called Breaking News English, for example. So they have, I think, every 2 or 3 days, they put up content for English teachers to use with their students. There's another really good website that I like. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I would have to go back into my bookmarks to look, but it has something to do with like learning English with music. And so you can find, lessons already created. You can go to ESL Printables, which is um, a good website where teachers their share their material that they created. So like I can create a lesson and I can upload it there, and then I can download every time someone downloads one of my lessons, then I get some credit, and then I can use my credit to go download lessons from other teachers. So let me go ahead and find that link here for you. I think it's ESL Printables. So this is another good site that you can use as a teacher to find material. Yes, ESL Printables, English worksheets, lesson plans, and other things. I'm not sure what that's going to say, but you get the idea. So curriculum A1 to C1, beginner to advanced. Sure, there's you're going to use different material with each level. So there's a lot of good courses out there. Oxford has good material. Macmillan has good material. Those are some of the most famous ones, right? Then you can find online material. Um, we pretty much had our own material that we developed that we were using when I was teaching English down in Brazil. So you can also create your own. So there's a lot of different options. All right, good. More questions? You guys have more questions, or do you want to talk about something else? I'm not going to be on here too long today. So a few more minutes. I'll be on for about 5 more minutes. If you guys have more questions, we can talk about whatever you want in English. Or did everybody already leave me? Did you all abandon me? Okay, Jona Machado's asking where I live now. Jona and I live in a place called Tarpon Springs. I'll type it here in the chat for you. Tarpon Springs. It's in the state of Florida. So in the USA. So how about you? Are you still living in Brazil? All right, all right. More questions? Anything else that you guys want to talk about? It was nice chatting with y'all. Appreciate y'all hanging out here. Not in Brazil anymore, Jona. Where did you go? You ran away from Brazil too, huh? Okay, okay, I got you. Yeah, I'm not in Brazil anymore. Right. I returned to the United States. So you are in Espírito Santo, Brazil. All right, great. What do I have to say about collocations? Collocations are good. I love collocations. How about you? What is your question specifically about collocations? How to study them, how to teach them? Do you have questions about a specific collocation? Let's type in here, English collocations, and see what kind of interesting information we get here. What is a collocation? Is two or more words that often go together. Let me move this over a bit. These combinations just sound right to native English speakers who use them all the time. On the other hand, other combinations may be unnatural and just sound wrong. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Jona. For example, in Portuguese, for example, water from the ocean, right, is salt water, and water that's not from the ocean, that's not salty, in English, we call fresh water, right? So in Portuguese, you say sweet water, água doce, right? So that is a collocation in Portuguese, água doce, because in Portuguese, you don't say água fresca. That would sound strange, right? If someone was talking about agua fresca, you'd be like, that doesn't make sense. What are you talking about? So the same thing in English, if you were talking about salt water from the ocean and sweet water, it wouldn't make sense to an American. Do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times there's not really a specific way to learn them. It's just learning what words go together correctly. So it's just combinations of words that flow together and make sense, that sound right. Does that make sense? So here are as a list of 2,500 collocations. You can go through and familiarize yourself with them. There are some good videos here, smart ways to sound more fluent, 15 expressions with keep, so words that go together with keep. A lot of times it's just learning. So ways that you can learn them, number one is read. Read a lot, because when you read, you'll see how those words are used together. So read and listen, just getting that input as you read or listen, that input is coming into your mind and you see how words fit together. So it might sound strange to you, but you'll see how those words fit together, what kind of combinations go together, right? So that's one way. Another way is to make up your own lists. So you can create lists of collocations for you to study, create flashcards, of course, things like that. Let's see here. We have examples of collocations. Pay attention, fast food, make an effort, a powerful engine. Okay, so they make it easier to avoid overused and ambiguous words like very nice or beautiful. So you use words that are specific for that context. So again, there's a list, huge list of 2,500 collocations with lists of example from A to Z. All right, let's see. 7 types of collocations. We have adverbs and adjectives that go together. Here you see they have utterly stupid. So you don't have to say very stupid. You can say utterly stupid. We have adjectives and nouns, regular exercise, right? So you have nouns that go together, two types of nouns, a noun and a verb and a noun, a verb and an expression with a preposition, verbs and adverbs. So collocations are just groups of words that fit together nicely and make sense. Like this one here, utterly stupid. That's a way to mean very, 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 very stupid. Okay. All right. So more questions about collocations, Jonah? Do you have a specific collocation that you have a question about, or anybody else? Reading on here, other questions. Okay, Jonah says, yes, thanks, great. All right, I guess that answered your question. Are you planning to release an online English course? I don't know, Jonah. I suppose it's possible. Lately I've just been writing a lot of English stories and posting them on my Facebook page. So let me show you guys here. I haven't really been promoting it or advertising it, but you can go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/Dave Bailey Dave Bailey me, and you'll see that I often write a short story and post it with the audio. And I usually put the audios on my website or Patreon page or SoundCloud somewhere. So that way students can read the story, learn the words, and listen to the pronunciation. So maybe later we'll put that all together in a course or something, or I don't know, if there's a lot of people who want to learn, then we can put an English course together. So you like how I use storytelling when teaching? Great, fantastic, Jonah. So you'll find some good stories here on my Facebook page. So for example, you can see here, I've got a picture. I wrote a story about this picture, and that story is down here somewhere on my Facebook page. My internet's kind of slow right now because I'm streaming, so it's coming up little by little. But anyways, you can find it there on my page. You'll see that specific picture, the story, and the link to the audio. So good. We could actually create courses from these stories. That might be an option. Okay, thanks about the collocation. You're welcome, Jonah. I'm glad you liked it. And feel free to take a look at the stories here. You can put see some other, still coming, slowly loading up. We'll get there. Okay, more questions? Anybody have more questions before we wrap this up today? Marina, Fatin, let's see, Memphis, Kevin. Anybody else have questions, comments? I appreciate y'all hanging out here with us today. This was fun, and I look forward to talking with y'all more later. Okay, so you can see here some other webinars that we did. Okay, so this is the example, for example, the story that I'm writing now. So you can describe things in this picture here, leave comments, and then I will try to implement your comments and questions in the story. Here's the story, for example, I wrote about this picture. You can listen to the audio here. All right, hang on. I'm gonna let Nick into the meeting here. Are you there? Hello, hello? Nick? Oops, Nick disappeared. Where did Nick go? Maybe I hit the wrong button. Nick? All right. Okay, there's Nick. Hey, Nick. How you doing? Do you want to start your video? Do you want to chat? Do you want to say something? You are in our Zoom meeting. So feel free to introduce yourself. Come talk with me. Anybody's welcome to join our Zoom room and we can talk together. So go ahead, Nick. All you got to do is unmute your microphone. You can unmute your video or undo your video so we can see you and you can participate with us here in these Zoom meetings. So welcome, welcome, Nick. All right, so while Nick is coming in, let me go ahead and see what other comments you wrote. Marina says, thanks about the present perfect. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to understand the present perfect because I don't use it in Portuguese. Yes, Marina, I understand it is a very complicated topic for Portuguese speakers. We do use it, but just that it's not very common, and you often convert the English present perfect to the simple past. That's why it's complicated. So there are a few rules. We can create some classes about that, talk about that later, maybe even create a course if you guys are interested. So let me know. Those are all possibilities. Jonan's asking, do we still have time to talk about point of view stories? Sure, Jonan. What do you want to know about point of view stories? Point of view stories are a great way for students to learn and practice their English. All right, I guess Nick is still here and drawing on our screen. Nick, are you there? Do you want to say something? All you have to do is unmute your mic. You can unmute your video or undo your video so we can see you and you can talk with me directly. All right, Rose is sending me flowers. Thank you, Rose. I appreciate those flowers. I guess they're flowers. They're flowers, or are they fireworks? All right, but thank you for those flowers. I'm going to call them flowers. Okay, it says a bouquet of flowers. Nice. So Jonah's asking, how do you work with POVs? Good question, Jonah. So a POV just stands for point of view. Okay. And Nick is saying, I am Nick. My English is not so good. No problem, Nick. No problem. That's why we're here. We're here to help you with your English. So you can still unmute your mic if you want. You can undo your video and we can talk here. Or if you just want to listen, no problem too. Okay, so back to Jonan's question. How do you work with POV? It's really simple, Jonan. A POV stands for point of view, right? Point of view. Let me see if we can find a good, to find another, so I don't lose my point of view mini stories. Let's see what Google tells us. But point of view story just means that we teach a story. Generally, we create a story with the students. We make it up as we go in the classroom. So we have a problem that the students face and we try to resolve it. We make it funny, we make it personalized to the student's life. So we're asking students questions about their lives and we create the story together, right? Or we can just take a story that's already made up. Either way, it doesn't matter. So we take that story and then we change the point of view. So let's say that our story is about Bob, right? We make a story about Bob. So Bob is a boy who lives in Japan and he has to get a job, okay? That might be a story. We make it up with the students, how Bob goes through the process of getting a job, okay? So once we finish creating the story, then we change the point of view. So we help the students, instead of telling a story about Bob, we can tell a story about me in the first person. So I can say, I am Bob, all right? First, we're telling the story. There is a boy, his name is Bob. We say, I am a boy, my name is Bob, right? So we just change the point of view. I can tell the story about you. You are a boy, you are Bob. And then we tell the same story changing the point of view. Does that make sense, Jonah? So you can change the point of view. You can change the grammar in the story. So for example, if we're telling the story in the simple present, there is a boy, we can change it to the past. There was a boy. All right. His name was Bob, etc. So those are just some things that you can change in the class. You create the framework with the story. You teach the vocabulary, the grammar, the expressions, pronunciation, help the students with all the different things that they need help with, and then you change it. So, for example, here's a reason why I do this. I remember one time I went in, I created a story with the students. They were probably at an A2 level, so they were, pre-intermediate. And we created a story in one class. The next class I came back, I told the same story, but in a completely different tense that they had never heard before. And I don't remember what it was. Let's say, for example, it was the future progressive tense, maybe. I don't remember. But anyways, or the present perfect, maybe they had never studied that. And those students were all looking at me really confused. They were like, we don't understand the story, teacher. And so, okay, hang on. Kennedy is saying, check the Zoom chat. Okay, I'm checking the Zoom chat. What am I looking at? I guess this is Nick. Are you coming in, Nick? You can still unmute your mic, undo your video if you want. All right. So back to my story. So when I was telling the story and the students had, okay, another person's waiting, Faisal, but that's why Nick was telling me to check the Zoom chat, was because someone else is waiting. Thank you, Nick, for telling me that Faisal's there waiting. Hello, Faisal, how you doing? You can unmute your microphone as well if you want to talk with me directly. So, okay. So you put a good site in the Zoom chat for English. I gotcha. Let me check your Zoom chat. Now I just got to find it here. Boom. All right. I think it's way up here. There we go. The chat. Where is the chat? Okay. I found it. It's because it was hidden. Okay, a good site for POV is what Nick is saying. So anyways, back to my story. We'll get to, oh, no. Okay, never mind. That's not a good site for checking POVs. So back to my story about the question, Jonah's question. So the students, they didn't understand the story. Was like, okay, that is the same story that we had questions about before and that we did in the last class. Just admitting someone else here. Mindpool Henry. Hey, Mindpool Henry, how you doing? All right. Okay. So take care of that. Yeah. So what happened was it was the same story. They didn't understand it because I changed the tense. And when I told them what the tense was, and then they were like, oh yeah, we remember that story. And then they understood it. But just because there was a lot of little changes, they thought they didn't understand it. So those are some of the reasons why I like using point of view mini stories. All right. Any more questions here? Epic Player Gaming and Tutorials Amore says hi, hello. Hello, Epic Player Gaming. All right. Epic Player Gaming says hello again. Hello. All right. More questions? Anybody else have questions about learning English or any of the topics that we've been talking about? Did that clarify your question, Jonah? Or was there something specific that you wanted to know? Hey, Mindful Henry. Mindful Henry, how you doing? Are you there? Do you want to say something? Talk about English? Talk in English? All right. You're welcome, Jona. All good questions. All right. Any more questions? If not, we'll go ahead and wrap this up and we'll schedule some more times to talk again. What about when you change from the present to the past? All right. So what's your question about changing from the present to the past specifically, Jonah? Like when you do that, I assume is your question. So normally you create the story in one tense. You keep it all the same way. So for example, if you're teaching the past tense, then you'll focus on using past tense verbs, right? And then, okay, so if we're focused on the present, your question's present to past, so we'll create the story in the present using present tense verbs. And then at the end, we can create retell the story in the past tense. So for example, I might let the students try changing all the verb tenses on their own, or I might actually do it myself and just teach them, So if they're just beginning, then, and they don't know how to do that, I can do it. Or if they don't, then, or if they do, then I actually let them do that. I'm listening here. Faisal, are you there? Do you want to say something?
Hello.
Maybe you're trying to get your
Hello.
microphone. Hello. How are you?
Hello. I am fine. How are you, sir?
Hello. I am
Hello.
doing great. Doing very good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So go ahead, introduce yourself. What is your
Oh,
name?
my name is Faisal.
Faisal. All right, Faisal.
Faisal, right? Aywa.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And what's your
Nice
name?
to meet
Because
you.
I am the new. I don't know about your name.
Okay. My name is Dave.
Dev.
Yes.
And where are you from?
Right now, I am living in Tarpon Springs in Florida. How about you? Where are you from?
Oh, okay. I am actually basically from Pakistan, and now I am living here in Saudi Arabia.
Living in Saudi Arabia right now. All
Yes,
right.
yes, yes. I am
Very
working
good.
here, so that's why I am living here.
Okay. So how long have you been studying English?
I have long been not more, but for 2 years, from 2 years,
Okay. For
I'm
2 years.
studying English.
All right. In Pakistan, do many people speak English?
Yeah, this actually is the not is native language is the Urdu, but this the English also speak.
Okay. All right. Very good.
My English is not very good, but maybe I am talk to you. To
Yep.
do you understand my?
I can understand you. Your English is
Thank
good.
you.
So in
Thank
Saudi
you.
Arabia, do many people speak English there as well, or do you have to learn another language?
No, there is a actually this Saudi Arabian people language is the Arabic, but here
Okay.
I am working with the Saudi Aramco. You'll
Uh-huh.
maybe you listen that the name of Saudi Aramco company, this oil and gas company. So
Okay.
that's there is a foreigner, more foreigners work here. So I talk to this person with English. So that's why I am learning to English because this is my job. Uh, needs my in my jobs.
Uh-huh. Got it. Makes sense. Very good. All
Okay.
right. So are you studying English now? Or are you still learning or?
Yes, I am. I am still learning.
Uh-huh. How do you study
Uh,
English? What kind of things do you do? Do you study in a school or do you just study on your own?
I am studying in my own, not in school because I am working here. So that's why uh, how I can go school.
Uh-huh. I
Mm.
understand. Very good. Okay. So how do you study? What kind of things do you do to learn
I
English?
I am learning from YouTube. I am learning from this other apps there is they have, but more learning from YouTube. There is a different types of you can say a teacher would tell me that learn this topic you will be fluent. So now today I am searching on the YouTube and I found your channels.
Hmm.
Before I did not know that you are this learning teaching in here in YouTube.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
First
YouTube's
time
a
I
great way to learn English. There's lots of good information.
okay.
Okay, do you have any questions about English? Something specific you want to know?
Yeah, I do not understand. Yeah, this in the past tense we are using the was not and did not. Where I use was not and where I use did not. I am confused in my mind. So
Uh,
tell me, was
uh-huh.
where I use was not and where I use did not.
Uh-huh. Okay. Good question.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at was not versus did not. Let's
Yeah.
see what we can find here. There's lots of good information. Was not hit the stumps, did not hit the stumps. Da-da-da-da. Let's see if we can find something specific here. People ask was not, did not. Do-do-do-do. Okay, let's take a look at the grammar exchange here. Looks like they have some good information, so maybe we'll get some specific examples.
Okay.
See what comes up here, if my internet will cooperate. Here we go. Okay, incorrect use of could. He was not injured. He did not injured is incorrect. Okay, so he
Okay.
did not get injured is the
Mm-hmm.
correct form. So when you use did as an
Mm-hmm.
auxiliary verb, he did get injured. You could say he was injured.
You was injured.
Whereas if you just use did not,
Mm-hmm.
injured is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he didn't get injured. I guess people are talking about this. Okay, so he says this is the get is the main verb. It's not a true auxiliary like be. Alicia got injured when the car hit a tree. When you make a main verb negative, you have to use do. The driver didn't, okay, so they're making it negative, didn't get injured, but Alicia did. Whereas number 2 here, he wasn't injured. This is the passive formed with the auxiliary be in the past
Okay.
participle. When you make be negative, you don't use do. You use not, which can be shortened to N apostrophe T. So the sentence can be a true passive. He was injured in the crash,
Mm-hmm.
or a passive state of when I looked at him, I saw that he was injured. So, I mean, the main difference here is that
Mm-hmm.
be is we can use be with injured, right? He was injured in the past tense, which
Mm-hmm.
throws it in the passive voice. When we're using did, he did get injured, because really what happens is you're saying he got injured. Okay, so
Okay.
he got injured is the verb, is how you would say that phrase. He got injured versus he was injured. Okay, can you see that there?
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if the
Okay.
letters are big enough. Hang on, that's my phone going off. Let me turn it down. So
Oh.
those are just two different kinds of phrases. So when you put this
Mm-hmm.
into use the auxiliary verb here, you would say he did get injured. And since it's negative, you're saying he did not get injured, okay? So the did
Okay.
not is basically just an auxiliary verb showing that get is in the past.
Okay.
But here you're not necessarily putting this into the passive voice. This is still the active voice. He got injured. I'm okay. Let me take that back. That might not be 100% correct. But here you're saying he was injured, and this is in the passive voice. I don't know if that's real clear, if that makes sense. It's just two different ways of speaking. But here you can use was. Whoops, it disappeared. I guess it's going to try to search for my phrases, which it's not going to show us. But anyways, they're just two different ways of saying the same phrase. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Did you have a specific question about when you use one versus the other?
No, I don't have any specific question about now yet, but next time I will ask you.
Okay. All right. So I can think up of some more examples later, and we can have some more lessons about this specific topic. So I don't have anything planned here off the top of my head. This was more just for an informal conversation, but these are good questions. So I appreciate you asking them. Any other questions?
No, sir. Thank you. Next time.
Okay. All righty. Well, it's nice talking with you then.
Nice
Appreciate
to
you
meet you.
jumping on here.
Okay.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to say bye-bye for you, Faisal, and for everyone else, Jona and Marina and Fatin, who else was on here earlier? Memphis, Kevin, and everyone else who participated in today's conversation. So I'll talk to y'all later. You have a great day, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.